Friends, it is finally here. I have breaking news to share with you this afternoon. The Social Security Administration has just unveiled the new cost of living adjustment for all Americans. This new change will affect millions of senior citizens and their monthly benefit check amounts. It has been confirmed, friends, that some Social Security recipients will be able to claim as much as $1,800. Friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for all the new details. I will be giving away 4 $75 Walmart gift cards every week. If you would like to enter the giveaways, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. And to say thank you for many of you that have been part of this community for several months, I will be giving away surprise $200 gift cards during the months of October, November, and December. So dear friends, please make sure that you enter as many keywords as possible in the comment section below of each video that you watch, and do stay tuned for those winning videos.
Overall, inflation was 2% over the last 3 months. That's down from 11% over the prior 3 months. That's progress, but a lot of it is a result of getting the cost of living at the gas pump down by more, not even in California now, by more than $1 nationally, and since the start of this summer. There's a big difference for working folks. But the price of gas is still too high, and we need to keep working to bring it down. I'll have more to say about that next week. We also need to make more progress bringing down the prices across the board. That's why I just couldn't disagree more with my Republican friends who say the biggest problem in our economy right now is that working folks are making too much money. No, that's the argument. Workers are making too much money and too many people are working. Too many jobs are being filled. I think that's a bunch, as we already said, a bunch of malarkey. The biggest problem is the world's challenge, global inflation and the pandemic and Putin's unconscionable invasion of Ukraine. Here's the deal. Because of my economic plan, we are better positioned than any other major economy in the world to weather the challenges that come through this as a stronger country. We've created nearly 700,000 manufacturing jobs just in the last 19 months. Businesses are investing here in America at record rates. They see what I see, the resilience of the American people and the potential of building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out.
The Social Security Administration announced an annual cost of living adjustment of 8.7% amid a rising inflation rate that has been punishing for Americans on fixed income. The adjustment represents the largest one-time increase since 1981 and the largest experienced by beneficiaries alive today. The increase that took effect this year was just 5.9%. The increase will begin with benefits payable to more than 65 million Social Security beneficiaries starting in January 2023. Increased payments to more than 7 million Supplemental Security Income beneficiaries will begin on December 30th, 2022. Thanks to an unusual quirk, Social Security beneficiaries can expect to realize the full cost of living adjustment increase. In previous years, the annual adjustment was eaten up by increases in the cost of Medicare Part B, the unit of Medicare that pays for doctor and hospital outpatient services. The Social Security Administration Commissioner said in a press release, Medicare premiums are going down and Social Security benefits are going up in 2023, which will give seniors more peace of mind and breathing room. This year's substantial Social Security cost of living adjustment is the first time in over a decade that Medicare premiums are not rising and shows that we can provide more support to older Americans who count on the benefits that they have earned. The annual adjustment is calculated by averaging inflation readings among urban wage earners and clerical workers from July, August, and September. Annual inflation readings in those months came in at approximately 8.5%, 8.3%, and 8.2%. Despite the expected increase, the methodology that the Social Security uses to calculate the annual adjustment could still leave most older people financially vulnerable, according to Mary Johnson, policy analyst and editor at the Senior Citizens League. That is because the strategy puts too much emphasis on gasoline and transportation costs. Those are items that retirees spend less money on compared with food, healthcare, and housing. Mary Johnson has estimated that the average retiree benefit of $1,656 per month is short of about $43 per month on average, and by a total of $417 year to date. Friends, the keyword for this video today is acorn. If you would like to enter the next Walmart gift card giveaway, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos, and then comment below this keyword, which is acorn, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure, friends, that you are subscribed to my channel. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is pushing lawmakers to pass bigger rebate checks instead of a gas tax holiday, as inflation surges to levels not seen in 40 years. Governor Walz's proposal calls for direct payments of $500 to adults who make less than $164,400 a year and $1,000 per couple. He has tripled the size of the checks since he had first proposed them in January, and his administration now estimates that the cost will be $2 billion. The check are part of Governor Walz's updated spending plan. Politicians across the United States are grappling with inflation, especially highly visible gas prices, with this fall's midterm elections looming. Governor Walz said a direct payment would be more effective than waiving the state's 28 cents per gallon gas tax over the summer, as some House Democrats have proposed. Walz also told reporters it is quite a few fill-ups that you could get out of $1,000. I think this money in the hands of folks would make a good difference, and it's fiscally responsible. Under a gas tax holiday, relief would be much slower than a one-time payment. Republicans who control the Minnesota Senate call a gas tax holiday a gimmick, with the 2022 session nearing its midpoint. Lawmakers in the state have stalled on proposals to spend $10.4 billion of combined budget surplus and federal crisis relief money. Democrats and Republican lawmakers have dealt with split-party control in the legislature since 2019. But in recent days, Democrats have accused Senate Republicans of not wanting deals in hopes of improving their hand in this fall's midterm elections. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, my amazing and dear friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this afternoon. Thank you so much, friends, for joining me here every day when I post a video. And I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Friends, please make sure you enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos and then leaving the keyword in the comment section below. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and blessed afternoon.
But to write this administration off as unproductive is to ignore the obvious. We came out of this pandemic. And when we did, we faced the problems that nations around the world were facing. Literally, could we deal with inflation? Demand was pent up, and it overwhelmed the services and goods that were available, and inflation started to rise. It took its toll, still does, on American families. But to ignore what we've been able to do is to really turn our backs on reality. What about that rescue plan, the American Rescue Plan? I remember it, and I remember there wasn't a single Republican voting for it. Almost 20% of the American Rescue Plan went to state and local governments to deal with issues like crime, to make safer streets and safer neighborhoods for Americans across the board. That's the kind of money well spent. And yet the Republicans wouldn't give us a single vote. And you heard the senator from Kentucky deriding it at this moment as a waste of billions of dollars. It's money well spent, and I found out personally, firsthand, when I went back in my state over the August recess. I didn't just confine myself to the blue areas of the state, and there are big ones and big part of our state, and I'm happy to visit there. I went to some of the redder sections of our state, the areas that voted for Donald Trump in the last election over Joe Biden. I don't do particularly well there either, but I wanted to visit with them, and I felt that there were things I needed to learn about what families and communities were facing. I went to Herrin, Illinois, the southern part of our state, where my family has its roots. And I went to the Southern Illinois Healthcare, which is a major healthcare consortium serving most of downstate Illinois, rural, small-town America, struggling with providing professional medical care, but doing a fine job. We have something called congressionally directed spending now, used to be known as earmarks. I'm unapologetic about it. I believe that if you make a public disclosure of these earmarks, to justify them, taxpayers understand this is federal money being brought home from Washington to their states and communities where it's needed. So I went to Herrin, Illinois, where we were able to announce an earmark of $1 million, which is going to provide for about half the cost of a new physical rehab facility. Critically important. I met some interesting people there. I met a little fellow, 4 years old, who was a victim of cerebral palsy. His name was Maverick. Maverick had a big smile on his face, was there at the rehab center to introduce me to the nurse that's been working with him. Strong, courageous little fellow, the pride of his family, the kind of courage he's showing. Now he has a rehab facility that is world-class in his region, in his neighborhood. The alternative, drive to St. Louis. You hear that over and over again in that part of the state. We just don't have it here. We have to drive to St. Louis. When it comes to rehab services for Maverick, kids like him and adults as well, they now have a fighting chance to get something local. And let me add, another fellow was there with the name of Riley Baird. Riley's a high school student, and he's an amazing kid himself. He's a Boy Scout, and I used to be a Boy Scout long